Hello, this lesson will demonstrate techniques that are going to make it easier for you to draw your objects and assets for your animations. Before you begin this lesson, the first thing you need to do is go to the Moodle Classroom and go to Section 4, Advanced Drawing, and download the cartoon car, which is located underneath the Resources category in that section. It's best to save it in the same folder where you're going to save your animation project file so that you know where to find it when you need it. Starting a new project, as always, click on Reset for Styles and Reset All Tools. Before we begin copying this image, there are a couple important things to keep in mind. Looking over here in the tools, click on the Add Point tool. We'll be working with this quite a bit. And remember, with the Add Point tool, it's like connecting the dots. Click, hold the mouse, drag, release, click, drag, release, and you keep going on until you get to whatever point you need to. And then to close it off, you have to drop down that last point over top of the first one and push enter. A common mistake that new users do with this software is accidentally just click on different parts of the stage area or workspace. And then if you don't notice that you have stray points, it can cause a big problem for you down the road. So if you see that you have any stray points, then you just go over here, click on the Select Points icon, click and drag around those stray points and push the Delete key on your keyboard. All right, so that's a pretty important thing to keep an eye out for. The next tip is about the Curvature Tool. The Curvature Tool is right here, and we will use this quite a bit too. Click on the Curvature Tool right now. Keep in mind that when you use this tool, you need to start out with no points selected. So if any of your points are glowing in red, go up to here and Edit, select None. Okay. Then let me zoom in. Remember, you click on just one point at a time. Hold the left mouse button down. Pulling to the left can cause less curve. Pulling to the right can cause more. All right, so it's just fine tuning. If you're trying to do something with the curvature tool and it's not really responding the way you think it should be, you may need to look up here in the curvature tool settings and you may need to click on one of these two icons, the peak icon or the smooth icon, and then go back and try and work with the curving or uncurving the point that you're trying to work with. Now you should delete this object or start a new file. Now we're going to copy that cartoon car so that we don't have to figure out how to draw it ourselves. Our car is going to be made up of a number of layers all inside of a folder. So in the Layers palette, click on the new layer icon and choose Bone, and this will serve as our folder, and we can call it Car or Cartoon Car, whatever you want. And let's just create the layer for the first part. Click on New Layer again, choose Vector, and put Car Body in that field, and hit Enter. Now, of course, we need to drag that layer into the Bone folder, so click and drag and release. Now click on the Car Bone folder. We'll insert that image now. Click on the new layer icon and choose the word Image. This is where you'll need to locate that cartoon car on your computer. I click on the cartoon car and click Open. I'm going to move it down just a little bit. We're going to want to zoom in on it quite a bit, so let me do that now. Get as close as I can without, still need to be able to see all around it, of course. In the Layers palette, you're going to double click on that cartoon car image layer. In the layer settings, right here, there's the word opacity and a number, and of course it is set at 100% by default. Let's change this to, let's try 30%, and then click OK down here. This may seem a little bit disorienting to you right at first, but you'll get the hang of it pretty quickly, I think. Now go over here and select the car body layer. And then click on your Add Point tool. Choose a color that isn't that red for the fill. You don't want to necessarily have to see red on red, so I'll click here in the swatch and choose a dark green and click OK. We're going to use the Connect the Dots method and go all around the outside of the car body. To start out with, we'll go around the wheel wells. Okay. We need to have enough points to make adjustments, but not too many. I'm going to start down here and click, drag. Okay, when I get to here, you're going to see that it's going to look kind of distorted coming around the wheel well because we do not have sharp corners set on this tool. And so now when I try to come across here, it's going to want to dip way down, and this will get fixed once I go all around the car. So you can see how often I'm stopping, and I'm going to ignore things like the bumpers and all that. That's all going to be put on different layers. Okay, so you go a little ways, you stop and do another dot, right? Another point. And that way there will be enough to make adjustments so that you're actually matching up with that really nice car shape. So I'm almost done here. And again, ignoring that bumper, that's going to be a layer on front. Okay, so there was my first point, so I need to stop over top of that and then push the Enter key on my keyboard to fill this in. Now, in order to see what I have versus what we're seeing in that car image, you can click here on these little eyeballs to temporarily turn off that. Okay, so and I'll click once over. Well, here, let me grab the Transform Points tool, and then I'll click once. So there's my car body, and obviously it needs to get shaped up, which doesn't take a whole lot of work. I'm going to put the cartoon car back on again. Now, obviously, with the Transform Points tool selected, you can grab points individually and match them up with wherever they aren't matching up. But let me zoom in to this area here. So in order to fix this dip, be sure you deselect all your points. You either click once here or go to Edit and select None. So in order to fix that dip, go here to the Curvature tool and then click on this point, for example, drag, click this point, drag, okay. For around the wheel well, you may need to just grab points individually and shape it up, or you may need to do the Curvature tool again and click and drag. Okay, you see? Click and drag this way. So it may need to be more rounded or less rounded. Okay, or just adjusted. So let me zoom out. With just that little bit of shaping up, let me close off the car. You can see it's already coming into shape. I'm going to pause now. Why don't you go ahead and get that car body shaped up, and I'll continue in the next video.